that was written by a Longford man called John. And it's about a young lad who found school very challenging when he was growing up in Ireland. So he went over to England and he worked on the buildings. But as he got older and his health started to fail, he moved back to Ireland and he made a living doing odd jobs for his neighbours. Until one day, the parish priest asked him if he would take a look at the ceiling in the church. And while he was there, he witnessed something that changed his life forever. It made him reflect on his own very carefree life. In a similar way, maybe, to how recent events have had all of us reflect on our lives, and how very often a small gesture or simple act of kindness can do so much for somebody who may not be as fortunate as we are. I hope you like it. It's called An Answer to Prayer. Now, I've always been a handyman from the day I finished school. I wasn't great at learning, but I could always work a tool. So at the age of 18 years, I crossed the Irish Sea, and I chippied for McAlpine back in 1963. Then back I came to Ireland, for my health was not too sound, and I started doing little jobs for the neighbours all around. And still, they keep me going. I still can earn my bread. At the moment I am busy painting Paddy Murphy's shed. And if you're ever down in our town and you're walking down the street, it's there, you'll see my handiwork on houses nice and neat. You'll see the fine post office standing stately on its own. It was I who built the entrance and I pointed all the stone. And on the way into the chapel, I erected 2 fine gates, and I later roofed the convent with the best blue Bangor slates. I painted all the pubs in town and the Garda barracks too, and that is why my dungarees, they're mostly coloured blue. But one evening, last October, I met up with Father Brown, and he told me that the plaster in the church was falling down. He found it in the sanctuary, and now he lived in dread that a lump of it might fall at Mass and hit him on the head. Well, I got my longest ladder and went up that very day, because working for the parish priest, you'll always get your pay. I went up behind the altar, and with no delay at all, I could see it was a leak in roof that caused the plaster fall. Now the place, it was very quiet, so I sat there for a while. Until then, I heard these footsteps coming slowly down the aisle. And there I saw an old man, real feeble and so grey, as to the candelabra he so slowly made his way. And there he lit 2 candles and he placed them on the stand. And from my perch above the altar I could see his feeble hands. And then he knelt and he joined his hands and he began to pray. And in that stony silence I could hear what he did say. Lord, 1 candle it's for Johnny, our son who died at 4. It really broke my heart the day his coffin left our door. Oh Lord, perhaps I'm selfish and I know you're meek and mild, but I never ever understood why you took our only child. And this candle, it's for Kathleen, my dear departed wife. It will be just 2 years tomorrow she departed from this life. I know she pined for Johnny too, but never said a word. The 2 of them are happy now in heaven with you, Lord. And dear God, I'd love to join them just to see my Kathleen smile and put my arms around Johnny just to hold him for a while. Because life for me, it's lonely now living on my own, and you know, I have this constant fear of dying all alone. It's not that I'm afraid to go to see the promised land, but I'd love someone beside my bed to maybe hold my hand. And there was I, so quietly perched with just a swallow's view. I felt the Lord had challenged me to do what I should do. My wife was strong and healthy, and her children all had grown. They were living all around us, so I'd never be alone. I never gave a moment's thought to people on their own, who lived each day this constant fear that this old man had known. So there and then I made a vow that I would be concerned. We are our brother's keepers. That's the lesson I had learned. Then the old man struggled to his feet and shuffled down the aisle, and it's strange, but something told me I should watch him for a while. And as he reached the chapel porch, I'm happy now to tell that just beside the water font, I caught him as he fell. I took him back inside the church and gently laid him down, and who came in behind us but the PP, Father Brown. And with my arms around him, I could see that dying stare as he quietly whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for answering my prayer." And with the final sacraments, the victory he had won, the Lord would now unite him with his wife and infant son. And I begged forgiveness for idle hours I'd spent, with not a care for others, no, not when I was so content. There are many, many people who are lonely all the while, who'd love to hear a cheerful word, who'd love to see a smile. And perhaps, because I'm older now, I see the reason why. We'd all love someone beside us when it comes our time to die. Thank you.